Hi guys, it's been a minute and it almost feels like I do not know how to do this anymore. It just feels like it. I've spent the last, what time is it? It's 10:08, like the past hour trying to figure out how I used to set up this thing. And then I may have lost my Rode mic, and so the mic that I'm using is like the internal camera mic. It might not be like the best sound, but I'll keep searching. But I knew that if I postponed it again, it may take me another 3 months to get time to do this, or to really even pull myself together to come and do this video. So I've decided to just do it with the internal mic. I'll try to see how I can work the sound in post-production. Have a lapel mic, but I don't know how to figure it out with like this Canon mic. But anyway, Canon camera. Anyway, like all those things is just me rambling. But just to say that it has taken me a minute. But by the time I even figured out like there's a sound thing, I even started this without opening my ring light. Like the messiness of coming back. So yeah, welcome to my comeback YouTube video. I do not know like for sure whether like there's a right way to start this video or the right, like the whole structure. I've really been thinking about it. And I was just saying actually as I was testing the mic, and I don't know if I'm going to put it at the beginning, but it feels like, you know, the way you ghost someone, which is not a healthy behavior, but if you have ever ghosted someone and then you're coming back, you're like, okay, I'm back. This is where I've been. It sort of feels like that. It's such like a bittersweet moment, but one thing for sure, I really enjoy creating content. I really enjoy recording. So it feels great. It also feels like really great to be having this opportunity. So we're going to go to straight ahead, and I'm going to welcome you to Thriving Nuggets. Yes, I've changed the YouTube channel's name, and I'm going to get like more in depth about it as we go on in the video. And if this video feels a little all over the place, that's exactly how I feel, especially with coming back and all the hiccups that I have faced this morning trying to set up a camera that used to take me 10 to 15 minutes to set up. It has taken me an hour to figure out even where like the SD card used to be in the camera. So yeah, forgive me if it feels all over the place. So I'll start off with like, where have I been? And I'm going to like use a very cliche Kenyan response and say that I've been around, but offline. I've been around, but offline. Offline in the sense that I have not been creating content. On YouTube, actually, it was longer than on Instagram. I came to realize as I was counting. So for YouTube, it has been a year and 8 months. So since August, and then on Instagram since the 7th of December. So slightly a year and a half or something. So creating content there. And honestly, it doesn't feel that long. It feels like it's just the other day, but like counting, it's like, oh my God, it's been this long. And the break wasn't intentional. It didn't start off like, oh my God, I'm going for a break for 1 year and 8 months. And no, it wasn't intentional. But life happened initially. Life happened. I think for YouTube, it was, you know, I was going through not a lot of transition, maybe 1 or 2 transitions. And then also at the same time, like I hadn't figured out like managing the time, you know, with the demands that I had during the day and with this, which is like my passion project or a pastime activity. And then as I continued, it also felt like I was falling out of love with creating, with showing up online. So it was a mix of so many things. And then on Insta, and then I had thought I would get back maybe in December or something of that sort. I think I even wanted to do maybe Vlogmas or something that year. And then life happened and I really couldn't be online. But then again, when, you know, things settled down, you know, mid or maybe towards the end of the first quarter of 2023, it sort of felt like I didn't know what to maybe share or to how to show up. And it's because of several reasons. And I've written them down so that it do not happen. Number one is the thing with creating content since 2018. It means I have evolved as a person. I've changed who I am. Not who I am like completely, like I'm no longer Anne. I am still Anne. And I didn't know if I even introduced my name at the beginning of this video. Honestly, like guys, we'll get past this initial stage where it feels like all over the place. We really will. But the second video will be like A1. But it sort of like felt like I had evolved as a person. Some of my perspectives had changed, but not really a lot perspectives, but also that had really changed my view on how I wanted to show up online, what I wanted to share, what I didn't want to share. And there seems to be conflict between those two people, like the before and the after. And then also at the same time, it sort of felt like my why had changed. When I started creating YouTube, it wasn't for metrics or money or anything of that sort. I really wanted to do it because it felt like a way of me, you know, like an element or a component of me exercising or living out, really not even exercising, but living out my purpose in life. And that is how it felt. And at that moment, it felt like it had gotten mixed up in the whole thing of metrics, money, and all that. And having had like a whole year plus to reflect, a lot of it was stemming from the fact that I was putting in a lot. I was putting out videos every week, and it was taking a lot of my time, and it sort of felt like there was no reward for that. And so throughout this year, I've been figuring out how do I sort of get to a place where I'm enjoying to create, but it's not taking all of me in terms of creating, because there are other things, in my life that are competing for attention or time investment or my interests. And so that was also another thing. And then the other thing was like, when I started this channel, I started it as posting my film. I'm an film enthusiast, former like film producer, scriptwriter, actor, the whole package, all that. And then I started a podcast on SoundCloud, and I started doing like the audio visual kind of here on YouTube. And then I was like, okay, let me share about my faith. And I was feeling very inclined towards sharing my faith and using the platform to share my faith. And then I started sharing my law school journey, and that's how so many of you actually maybe joined this channel. And then it sort of felt like there was a lot happening. And even with the name Redefined Gospel, it didn't feel even aligned to sharing the law school content. I always share the law school content from a point of like paying it forward. And one thing that I really like noticed was, and then paying it forward, number one, before I go to that point, forgive me guys, paying it forward, but also secondly, as a way to, for me, it's purpose for me is rooted in Christ and in God. And I really can't separate that and say because it's law school content, it's not godly or something of that sort. But it sort of felt like in terms of the branding of that name, it didn't like really fit, what I was sharing. And then I started rethinking, is this the best platform to share my faith content? Are there other platforms? And those are the like thoughts that had been going through my mind throughout last year as I was navigating whether I was going to come back or not. And then another thing, which is a big thing, is about like my why and my purpose. I believe that honestly, and this is not grounded in any scripture or any study or anything, but it's just a personal belief. But I believe like purpose sometimes evolves, and I don't think you have like one single purpose, especially for people who are like multifaceted. Like it's not like one single purpose that you're serving on this world. But at the same time, you may have like the greater, grander scheme of purposes. Like for instance, to inspire law students, or to pay it forward and to, share my journey about my career. So, and that feels purposeful in that moment. But under purpose, like there are assignments. I feel like for you to achieve your purpose, there are different assignments that God places in your heart. And it sort of felt like the assignment then had either ended or on a pause. It sort of felt like that. And I know sometimes and one thing that I made peace with is sometimes like accessing my purpose and, paying it forward may look very forward looking or face fronting, like in terms of me being here on YouTube, posting on social media. And sometimes it may be offline. And it felt like last year was like an offline moment. But But one thing like I am appreciative of is like discerning the season and moving that way, even in a space where what is encouraged is to always constantly be there and constantly showing up. Yeah, so I hope that gives perspective. Feels like I was rambling or I was saying a lot of things in one or in a very like maybe abstract way, but basically that was it. And it's sort of, I actually thought I would be back by Easter last year, but it didn't feel right. And honestly, I am grateful for having taken that whole year. Like it's like a sabbatical or something. And yeah, I'm back for as long as, you know, it will feel right and okay to be on this space, really. So the reason why I changed, I think I've mentioned that I changed the channel name from Redefine Cosmo to Thriving Nuggets. And mostly because of that, the branding thing, but I was looking at what's the underlying thing. At the end of the day, I'm sharing a few nuggets here and there on how to thrive in your faith, in your career, or in your personal development. So a lot of content moving forward is going to be mostly law school, law career oriented, and then also there will be like personal development content coming in. So there will be a lot of that and very little, if any, faith content. So what happens to my faith content people who have been here? And most of my faith content people actually are like the OGs of this channel. So good news is drums rolls. Drum rolls, please. So the good news is that I am going back to podcasting, and so I have a podcast, the Secret Place Conversations podcast. It feels like a mouthful, but the Secret Place podcast, you can call it the Secret Place, but it's like the full name is the Secret Place Conversations podcast. You can find it at this moment. I've not even set up the accounts on the podcast channels, but by the time this goes up, you can find that on Google Podcast, Apple Podcasts, Castbox, you know, all those where you can get your podcast. I'm going to link all that information in the description box and in a pinned comment down below. And so that I feel like will give me a platform to share my faith content, to go all out, even if it's like scripture based, going in depth and all those things. I really want to try that there and have like a mix of like the faith content, the mix of like personal life examples here and there, perhaps according to what feels most comfortable to me. I think one big thing for me as I come back is to really have like those online sharing boundaries, what I share and what I don't. Yeah, so that's really it. And one of the things that as I mentioned, that really pulled me back when it came to, you know, always feeling the need to channel content every week and all that, was like the frequency of which I was doing videos. And so that has changed. So I'll be posting YouTube videos twice a month, 2 videos in a month. And honestly, that feels a lot. Already it feels like it's a lot based on the other demands of life that I have. So I may do that, or if it feels like a lot, I'll just do 1 video. But for now, I'm aiming for 2 videos a month and then 2 podcast episodes a month. It sort of feels like there's content every week regardless. And so also want to see whether that works or whether I'll just shift it up altogether. So I'll see what works in the next 2 months, and then maybe that can be shifted around. But I really am excited to be coming back, and especially for the law school content. I saw so many YouTube video comments. I do not have access to my info email. I've been trying to do that to get access to pay my subscriptions, which I'm far behind, of course, on maybe a year or 2, so that I can get my info email back, and then I'll respond. And I know some of the people maybe texted me when they were in KSL and later maybe they admitted to the bar, but I'll try to reach out in case there's anything. But one other thing that I'll be really intentional on is one-on-one or calls or clarity calls. I started doing that towards the later end before I went for a break, and so this is like an open call. If you are a prospective law student, or you are current law student, or you have finished, you are waiting to be admitted to the bar, you just got admitted to the bar, or even like if it's past that, honestly, if you feel like there's anything valuable that I could offer clarity on, we could have like a one-on-one call, maybe a 30-minute call. And I'm looking forward to like having maybe 1 or 2 calls per week, maximum 2 calls per week. So yeah, so that's an open call. So I'm going to leave the email address. If by the time I upload this, the info email will be up, I'll put it there. If not, I'll put my Gmail account, and you can reach out to me and we can have that. And that's one thing that I want to do intentionally, because I am a product of people who paid it forward, who had gone through their journey and who have been holding my hands, and even like with like my mentors who are holding my hand now, and I really want to pay it forward. But also, secondly, I'm also a product of winging it and figuring it out myself on some areas, and some that I'm really doing that right now currently. So I think that is something that really has motivated me. I've had moments where I've met people like in maybe a hotel or a very random far away place, even from home, and I meet someone, and as we are talking, and maybe it's like a prospective law student, and I realize like I have a lot to say. First, because of course, even with like 1 year or 2 years or whatever amount of experience, there's always something that you have learned. But also, secondly, I realized like I enjoy sharing it out and letting people know the options that exist and things like those. And so yeah, I'm really excited about that part. And so yeah, so in case you are interested in following me both here on YouTube and then on my podcast, go on Instagram, the Secret Place Conversations Podcast. I'm going to link all that on the description box. You can also see it on my personal page, which I've also changed. I think jorogeann.ke. Yeah, you can go ahead and do that. But yeah, that's it for this video. Oh my god, it's like maybe 20 minutes. I didn't know I will talk this much, but all this to say that I'm back on YouTube. And let's see where this takes us. Honestly, let's see it. I really hope that it feels like I've really fallen back in love with it, but I hope I have. And I hope the sound will be okay. But anyway, thank you so much for watching oh my god. Thank you so much for watching this video. Honestly, Mnisamehe to just forgive me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I am going to see you in the next 2 weeks. After next week, the other week, I'm going to see you with yet another video, and just like a teaser of that video, because I'm recording it actually right now. It will be a lot about taking not a lot, it will be about the certified secretary's course. Yes, which is a question I have got a lot. Like last year, even when I was offline, I had got a lot. Even before I had gone on a break, I had decided I'll do that and to share all about taking that particular course, and whether I think it's necessary or not. Situations where I think it's absolutely not necessary, but also like the nitty-gritties of it, so that honestly for that one I am doing it so that when I get any other question, I just share the link to the video, which is what I was doing actually with the law school content. But it feels I'm happy to be back. Honestly, if you can't tell, I'm really happy to be back. So yeah, that's it for this video. See you on the next one. And yeah, so what should be the outro for Thriving Nuggets? What should be the outro? Anyway, may God bless you, may he keep you, and yeah, see you on the next one. Then the next one I'll have had like a proper outro, like I used to have for Redefined Gospel. So let's bear with this bare minimum. See you guys, bye.